Hello and welcome to episode 10 of our Timberborn Update 6 Emberpelts hard mode playthrough in Cycle 16, Day 1. Last time, we improved a whole lot of our food situation here, and there's still a lot of work to do in that regard. But most of that's going to require that we start growing some additional crops and harvesting those that we haven't quite gotten optimized yet. So there's a couple different ways we can go about doing this. A lot of you guys in the comments suggested putting water in here and expanding our farms, and I think that's a good idea, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And we additionally can kind of help that process along by continuing to improve our water supply. Why, you might ask? Well, if we have cleaner water coming through here, then that means we can pump more of it in the same amount of time, which means we can afford to put more in these little dumping areas. So, convenient time for us to come across this revelation, because we can identify where the badwater mixes. Like, I've already got a pretty good idea, but just to show you guys how this goes, this is the badwater source that is currently polluting our water coming through our settlement. And as this fills up and then mixes with this area here and this area here, it'll come down and we'll see how it combines with that. But we have already fixed these two, and we've already fixed these two. And we're using this one to make some power for our number cruncher. Yes, number cruncher. And then outside of that, there isn't any other nasty water source that can combine with what we're doing here. There are still other nasty water sources all over the rest of the map, but we're not really in a position where that's a problem yet. And I don't know that we will be for the duration of the playthrough. So I would like to at some point soon, maybe not today, probably, if it is today, then it's going to be toward the end of the episode. But I would like to make an effort to get over here and divert this guy, which is going to require that we put in levees, or we can blast a hole through the side of the thing here and just seal this off. But to do that, that being blasting, we have to have the ability to make dynamite, which is going to require that we research explosives factories and the dynamite themselves, and all that fun stuff. And conveniently, we now have the number cruncher, well, once this fills up enough, to automate the process of getting science for us. So that's going to work out really, really nicely. But I think the easiest thing for us to do right now is to take a look at how our crops are laid out and the coverage patterns of our farmhouses. So right now, we do have a little bit of corn that hasn't quite been picked yet, but they're hard at work taking care of that. We do still need to plant additional corn. So I think what's going to make more sense is if we try to segment this stuff a little bit more clearly, because all of these farms right here, corn is basically the furthest crop away from all of them, and that's not going to fly. Well, except for, you know, this bit right here. But corn is going to be probably the single most important crop for the rest of the playthrough in terms of making all sorts of different foods, and then cornmeal as well. That goes into stuff. Remember, we have these bakeries we haven't turned on yet. Well, actually, you know what? We could actually do that because we are now generating wheat flour and cornmeal. And cornbread requires cornmeal. It does require maple syrup, which we are growing. Well, we're not growing the syrup, we're growing the trees that produce the syrup. But you get the idea. These guys are going to take quite some time before they're actually able to produce it. So we don't really need to worry about that quite yet. But baked beets, maple syrup again with those. Never mind. Well, the wheat flour and the apples and all that to make apple pies, we can absolutely turn this one on. Even if we don't have a whole lot of apples, we are working on getting that taken care of. So, I think what's going to make the most sense for us to do, like a lot of you guys suggested, so thank you for that, these foresters, well, this singular forester, there's not multiple ones, it needs to go away. I'm going to plant one additional apple tree here first. But this guy needs to go away so that the rest of these trees can spread naturally here, because we really don't need to have a forester if these trees aren't going to be cut down. So this gatherer flag can reach every corner of this island. So what that means is that this guy can go away, and then the path can go away, and this path can go away. We just want him to get all of these. Actually, you know what? Maybe they don't need to get them, because there's no storage space. Wait, hold on. What's this little, is this guy, injured? Is that what that is? Oh, no, he's hungry. Okay, well, that's allowed. So how we're going to accomplish this is I'm going to unplant all of the trees around the areas that are going to have stuff grown into them. Again, we're not cutting these down, so it doesn't matter. But if you have the area marked for planting of trees, then the trees can't spread naturally. But if you take that off, then they can drop their seeds or whatever, and then over time those will grow up. And that will marginally improve how this area is set up. And I think that's going to be totally fine. We can do the same kind of thing here. Just get that separated. I don't think there's any other spots where we could conceivably grow trees. This is already on a platform. I think that's fine. Yeah, so we're gonna leave that alone. But I think our water situation is secure enough that we don't really need to worry about having this segmented off. I understand that's a thing that would be a little bit more efficient, but you know, I think I kind of like the idea of just having a nice lake so we could look at it, because, you know, not everything has to be about efficiency. I just have to decide where I'm going to put our little fluid dump based on how these paths are going to be laid out. I think at the end of the day it doesn't really matter that much, but I am going to want to also have the farm, I think, over the lake. So it would make sense for us to go ahead and do something like this. Just like so. Get that situated there. Just for no particular reason. A little bit of a closer proximity to this farm area here probably is totally fine. And I know this doesn't quite match, but we will get that figured out, taken care of in due time. Just got these radishes set up here. You know, actually, I probably could have this go... Could probably have this go this way and actually not be that that bad of a thing. Let's do that. Yeah, you know, that's going to make a lot more sense because we do want them to be going this way anyhow. So, like I said, this can be a lovely lake. If we decide to segment it off later, we definitely can, but for right now, I don't think I'm going to be worried about that. And I think the way this is set up here probably is going to make more sense to have corn grown, because corn is one of those crops that does take 10 days. It is the longest growing crop, well, I guess tied with wheat. So having it a little bit further away, but still with a more or less dedicated farmhouse, is probably the smart way to do it. So we'll continue to look forward to that. And then I don't think pollution from a bad tide would be able to kill stuff down here. But like a couple of you suggested in previous episodes, I do think at some point it's going to be smart for us to just put our contamination barriers along this entire shoreline here and then elevate the automated water pumps, because those do have the ability to go down pretty far. For depth, which, you know, isn't as much as the iron teeth, but this is currently only 1, and I'm sure we could appreciate having extra of that. So, that's looking nice. And we do have our number cruncher crunching numbers. So it shouldn't be too long before we can afford to research explosives factories and all of that stuff. And this area up here, we probably discussed a couple different options for that, but this area up here is going to be a great place to do bad water stuff. Remember? Because, well, there's a bunch of bad water right here. It's pretty close to everything else. And for us to be able to do what we want to be doing, we're definitely going to have bad water. And as soon as we have the science to do that, then I'm going to get that stuff going, just to keep that in the background of our collective consciousness as we continue going about our business. But like I said, everything is looking pretty good. I was a little worried about this maybe becoming a choke point, and I don't think it's going to be a problem just based on the amount of flow we've removed. But we're going to see here. Let's go ahead and put this on triple speed. See if this ends up backing up at all. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a problem. All right, well, that's good. That's a little bit of a relief. Because, oh boy, would that be bad. Look at that, look at that. Even just this much irrigation already opens up all of this space. That's good stuff. That is very, very good stuff. So yes, we will continue expanding population like we had done kind of to a degree before. But I've got to decide if I want there to be specific areas that we want to have population in, or if I want to keep them all around the general food supply area. And I think it's probably going to make sense to do that. But I do want to start getting into some of the interesting possibilities we have with, like, the tenement lodge. If you remember the live stream playthrough, we made good use of this to make something pretty funny looking. So I like the idea of having a set of lodges that can just kind of climb the cliff, so to speak, and be kind of like a ladder and a house all in one. Like, could you imagine? You're just, you know, sitting there eating your dinner, and somebody just walks through your kitchen like, oh yeah, I'm on my way up to the top of the... Like, what are you doing, man? No, but it's just funny. So I think I do want to do that. But if that's going to happen, I do think I want this to be cleaned up a little bit more. So we'll see what happens when we get into that point. But we already have a little bit of a deficit here, so we're going to continue adding some additional houses. This large lodge here, so that went 5 times fast, isn't the most beautiful thing that we have on offer in terms of beaver housing. But what it is efficient, which I think we can all appreciate. So we take a look, entrance on the ground floor, obviously that's good. If I just go ahead and put one of these right here, that's going to give us 9 additional beavers, which we could definitely use, and is going to open up possibilities for us to build some stuff up top at some point in the future. But for right now, we just got to get some more beavers in here so we can take care of what we want to take care of. Yeah, see, we've already got one of these trees brought in. I guess there's no storage for planks, so that's something we also need to work on. But I think... yeah, look how much nicer this looks with all this green. That is just absolutely fantastic. Let's go ahead and put in a farmhouse here. What I was going to say earlier is I think we're going to be in a good spot for growing stuff. So let's go ahead and start once this farmhouse gets built. Just plant this whole thing full of corn. Like, look at all the space this one farmhouse can get. Obviously, it's not going to be the most efficient at collecting everything in this radius, but it does give us a pretty nice array of options here. I think for the space right in front of what we're working on, this is probably going to be just fine. It's probably also not a terrible idea for us to just have this connected anyway, because we can use space on top of the lake for some storage if we feel so inclined. Probably would not be a terrible choice. Just trying to keep things as logical as I can within the realm of what is possible. And I think there's an opportunity here to clean this up a tiny bit. Make this a little bit more efficient of a space. And probably just going to go ahead and move this here. Because that's going to allow us to take this whole path out. And then we can start planting some more stuff here. This farmhouse can also gather some of this corn, so I think the balance is probably okay in terms of distance between places. But I do want to make sure that we're not being completely dumb when we do stuff like this. Alright, so now we got 1100 science. I think it's about time we go ahead and get the badwater pump unlocked, because we want to have plenty of capability for pumping here. And the way this is currently set up, I think we're going to want, assuming this doesn't actually, we're going to want to go ahead and just get our regular platforms going on here. Unlock my doubles as well, because you know we've been waiting on that for a long time. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get a pretty robust selection of pumping occurring here. I know we have this one here that we possibly could, but I'm going to leave this space blank. Oh, look at that. We got a bad tide coming in. Just in time for us to see how bad the contamination is going to get over here. So, we'll get this taken care of. But I do want to leave some sort of method for us to get across here, should that be required at some point in the future. But for right now, I'll just leave this here. Those two are going to be fine right there. I know it's not perfect. I got this extra thing here, but I do want to get them going. Make sure we actually have access to stuff. I'm going to want a tank. I don't know if I want to put an in-ground tank for this, Honestly, I probably should, but I'm going to try and save some of our stuff here. Okay, while they're working on that, I know it's not going to be perfect, but I do think it's going to be smart for us to go ahead and, first of all, get rid of that. Start the process of getting this area all situated. If it's a bad tide, that would be a perfect opportunity for us to remove these and put down some platforms and then, of course, contamination barriers as well. So I think we're probably alright for that. Looking pretty good. And of course we got our badwater pumping happening here. We don't have any storage, so these guys are, well, a little bit out of a job. So let's go ahead and pause these for right now because, again, we do still have a significant amount of vacancies. Think about how else we want to do this. We're going to have, if we're doing processing here, we need badwater storage, and then we need storage for the extract as well. Which, of course, that has to be made at the centrifuge. And this is currently making... Wow, it's actually not even making enough to drive the number cruncher. Okay. Well, you know, we have the ability to kind of fix that if we so choose, depending on how we want this to be set up. So that's something to keep in mind. We also, don't forget, we have this power shaft coming up from this area here that, you know, isn't really making that much more than it's required to, but, you know, you connect everything together, it kind of works a little bit better, right? Well, we'll get there. How are we looking on this? Wow, they actually finished that. Good. There's going to be a little bit of contamination coming in through here. Actually, that's the closest spot. Oh boy, the closest spot to the corn is actually going to be the one that gets most contaminated. But I think it's probably only going to be maybe these 6-ish in the corner that get affected. We'll see what happens. We have full water storage. I'm not really that worried about it. But yeah, we're gonna have an opportunity to do something a little bit smart here, possibly. So let's go ahead and just expand this out this way. Go ahead and demolish this as well. Actually, before we do that, I probably should get this one on the very end, because I want this to be pretty free-flowing so we can just have all the wheels across here. But as soon as I start raising up these automated water pumps, we're going to have a problem, because this output is going to be too low, and I'm not going to be able to put the upward power shaft on top of a contamination barrier. So we are going to have to take one of these wheels out and then build a structure here. Which reminds me, contamination barrier is a ground-only building. So I did see someone have an idea that maybe we could put it on top of the levees here. Unfortunately, that doesn't work. But I think we're going to be fine anyway. Just got to let them do what they got to do. Get some more beavers going. And I do think I want to have another one of these built in here. Just got to figure out exactly how this is going to work. Because remember, our tenement lodges have entrance on the second floor. I'll call it the second floor and the fourth floor. So we can do stuff that spans paths, and we can do all sorts of funky, fun items and things with this. So I think for right now, just put another one of those lodges there, and we can work on maybe making this into something else. Maybe slightly more interesting in the future. Yeah, so now we're going to see some of this corruption come in here. Very, very curious to see how far it goes. Obviously, it's not going to go past this. But, you know, it's going to be a thing. I know I could put contamination barriers here, and I could put them here, but it's not going to stop it because the paths aren't going to be able to cross it. So it's much better to just put it on the edge here and just be done with it. Yeah, continuing to creep in. Yeah, I didn't even acknowledge it was going to be a 23-day bad tide. It's a pretty long time. Pretty long time to live off of 5,000 water for, oh, boy. Well. All right, that's going to cause some interesting problems. I'm going to go ahead and preemptively pause this fluid dump here. Let's take a look at other things that might be using water. I believe... Yeah, as the corn juice consumes water. You know, we only have 83 beavers. I think it's probably fine. Hopefully. Oh, and all my misplaced zeal. Oh, yes. Well, at the very least, we now know that 99% contamination does not actually kill any of the corn. Cool. That's nice. Okay. Alright. At least we still have some power coming through here, which is good. We're going to have to expand this, and I guess it's probably going to make the most sense to have that come in this way. I know the water wheel is not the most efficient means of producing power with this faction, but for right now, I think we're just going to have to do it anyway. Go ahead and put that there. I don't have any bridges unlocked, so I guess it's probably still fine to do these platforms here. Main goal, of course, is to just generate additional power, and then these guys here, I don't think this would do anything, but these guys here will make something happen, and that's what it's all about. So I'll go ahead and, just for the sake of future expansion, put that in place. Yeah, so this isn't making a tremendous amount of power, but, you know, every little bit counts. Eventually, this could be a constant thing as well. Just making it work. Alright, we should have enough beavers pretty soon, the next couple of days, to actually make some sort of actual push for stuff up here. See, this one's doing a whole lot more. 95 versus 28. These are all doing like 120 something, so... I do want to straighten this out at some point when we get our dynamite, but like I said, that is something that we are working on today. We need to put in a stream gauge over here before I unpause this. I guess it makes sense for it to be the furthest away, so that's probably a decent spot to do that. Because remember, Emberpelts don't need water to survive as much as the other factions do because of the juices. So as long as we can keep that going, and as long as we have enough to irrigate, and then, you know, a safety bit for actual thirst quenching, then we're probably going to be in pretty good shape. Probably. I do want to make sure this is set up correctly before we get too worried about anything. Go ahead and get that taken care of. That's good there. I'm a little bit less worried now because I see that this doesn't quite reach as far as I thought it would. But these are not pumping any more clean water for another 20 days, so it's time to say goodbye. And yes, even the windmill. This is a very good opportunity for us to reorganize how this is set up. And in fact, because these are automated, we don't even have to have them on the shoreline itself. We could, if we felt like it, just have this... Wait, how is this still contaminated here? Okay, well... They're not going to be able to reach that, so that's unfortunate. But what we can do is we can come across here and then build from that. Ooh, that caused a little bit of a blip there. Like, look how close this is. Look how close this is. I don't think it's a problem, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna put that there, so hopefully that can, you know, some of the trees that they can actually reach probably should be protected. I think would be a smart choice. Okay, so this this forester. Oh, this is still way. Oh, I forgot. I forgot about this. I might have mentioned it at the end of the last episode, but yeah, we're going to have to fix that. So much stuff to do all at once. Well, we got some time to put those pumps back in. I'm not worried about it. I think we are okay, but for the time being, definitely want to go ahead and get this situated about as best as we can. I know there's still going to be a little bit coming through here. But we have the technology to kind of fix that once we get to the point where that's going to be necessary. Right now, though, business as usual. We also, I know, need to put in some storage for logs. We have this bit here. And if I were a little bit braver, I would have had more wood storage here. But I think before we get too excited here. Okay, that one's going right out. I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm just going to build some wood storage over here. Because we have plenty of space. I could put a nice underground pile in, you know. 1,800 is a pretty big quantity of storage. And that's probably not a bad choice. But I've got to decide what's going to make the most sense. We're already not using all of this wood anyway, so I don't think I'm going to lose any sleep putting this here. 1,000 science points. Yeah, that's a worthy thing for us to be doing. Ladder versus stairs. There's no benefit to having a ladder there. So that's going to be fine. Go ahead and set this to log supply. That should help out quite a bit. I know that's a thing people have been asking for, so glad to do that. And now this is all connected here. And it's barely making enough collectively to run the water wheel. So yeah, we're definitely going to have our work cut out for us here. I still think there's plenty of power generation capability of this stuff. We just have to set our minds to it. Hey, this is... well, I mean, I paused it. I said specifically that's what that was going to be. Alright, I always forget how to set these things. Okay. 25 and 11, I think is what I had set to. 0.25, not 25. That 25 is a very, very large amount of water. And there we go. I saw somebody leave a comment saying that water evaporates faster once it's down below 0.25, but I actually don't know if that's true or not. I've never actually sat down to test it, so I don't know if you have any knowledge or opinions on that. Please do let me know as well, because I'm very interested to see if that's actually a thing. I never really thought about it. So we've got, like I said, we've got space to clean up some stuff here. If we want the nasty water to not be able to affect anything here, we have to have this either blasted out and then put a levee here, or we have to just put a staircase or ladders or something going over this so we can put contamination barriers in place. Same exact problem as what's happening here. And this is, I mean, even though it's not overflowing, this is a little concerning of a bottleneck here. I think once we get up here and divert this, it's not going to be as big of an issue. We just have a tremendous quantity of water coming through here. I don't think that's that big of a concern. All right, so that's looking good. Food storage continues to increase. Water's down to 4.5, and we are almost 25% of the way through the drought, so I guess that's okay. Seems like it's going to be fine. Yeah, it's about time for us to actually start processing stuff up here. The explosives factory, going to go ahead and get that going. And we have a couple of opportunities to be a little creative in how this power gets laid out up here. But we have to decide exactly how this is going to work. I think we're not generating enough power to justify putting a ton of this stuff up here. But if we go ahead and just do something like this. Remember, I wanted to have something to go across here. If I just do that, and then I put this in on this side, then I've got space in here to do something else. I don't know, I don't really think there's anything that would fit there super nicely. At the very least, the centrifuge is that wide. But in the event that there is some sort of infection that occurs, we're going to want to have the infrastructure to take care of it. So leaving this open for decontamination pods probably would not be a terrible choice. And if we're going to have beavers in here for decontamination purposes, it probably would also be a good choice to have some stuff back here that would give them a little bit of a well-being boost, in addition to the beavers working on this stuff. So we got these guys. It gives the fire need and the aesthetic need at once. So if I put one here, then that does technically cover this guy as well. I think that's how that... Yep. And then let's see, what else? Do we want a beaver bust? There we go. The watchful eye of whatever beaver this is. You can carry all this mess. And yeah, I can put something on top of this, but I think for right now this is going to be just fine. And that also means, friends, that we can have some other decorations over here too. Let's not forget, we have the incredible ability to just do stuff because it's neat. Never forget that whimsy. Oh, I know it would be a whole lot better from an efficiency standpoint. What in the world was that? Put those there, and that's fine. But actually, you know, we got these half-roof pieces I think look kind of cool. What if we did something like, hey, you know what? That's actually going to cover all that. Okay, new idea. Ooh, fancy. Definitely not a fire risk at all. That looks kind of neat, you know? It's not the most groundbreaking architectural design, but a little bit of variety. We don't usually do too much of that stuff. Now, see, that's ready there. I'm going to go ahead and get this situated. I could have flipped that if I really felt like it, but I don't think we need to worry about it. What we do need to worry about, though, is storage for badwater and storage for all of that other fun stuff. We, of course, have room here to put in some other items. But I think the most beneficial thing that we're going to be able to do is to have just centrifuge up here. So 600. I've got 2200 science. That's fine. Let's see. What is the processing speed of this? Every 3/4 of an hour we get 1. These consume every 3/4 of an hour 4 bad water, which means every hour is like 5 into the 3rd. And every hour this can make 3. So one of these centrifuges would require 2 bad water pumps. Obviously, we have room for plenty more. Not opposed to putting in additional pumps. But just so we don't overburden ourselves, just to run one centrifuge requires 2 pumps at 100% speed all the time. And then these guys, every hour, use like 2/3 of a unit of bad water. And I've got 2 of those. So every hour, that's like 1 1/3, I think. That's how that math works out too. Yes. So, regardless, we need to have more of this. Especially if we're going to be making fuel. Let's not forget. We haven't really talked about it too much, but that is the best fuel recipe, I think. Feel free to let me know if one of those other ones is actually better, but we want to have more bad water. So, all of this being said, it is time to continue building additional water pumps, bad water pumps. We got room. We got room. So if I put these guys here. Oh, you know what? That one's going to have to be flip-flopped, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. So, I've got space. If this is going to be a way to get across here, which, you know, I honestly don't think it needs to be. But if it is, then we're going to have a limited amount of space to work with. So, if I just go ahead and do that, I can put in an underground tank, say, here for bad water. And then, say, here for extract, because extract is going to be much more widely used elsewhere. Just go ahead and get this stuff built. And the bad water being here, so that it would be more convenient to have the centrifuge hooked up to it. So if I put a centrifuge here, I can put one here and one here if I felt so inclined. Those will connect directly to this. And then, before we get too cute with how this is going to be laid out, got to research the dynamite. And then, for the benefit of getting stuff across without it being too completely crazy, just put 3 of these guys in right here and we can go underneath the path. A nice, easy solution there. And I've still got vacancies, so I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, this is almost gone anyway. Okay. Well. Let's just go ahead and get this connected right like so I can have additional housing right here. I do like to keep those roughly in the same area. Yeah, just get more beavers going while we have the chance. Alright, badwater supply. Looking good there. I just need them to come put this stuff in. I know we don't have any storage for dynamite yet. That will be coming. Just gotta get there. Although, honestly, I probably should just go ahead and do it. I don't think we need an underground warehouse full of... That's way too much. But on the side here is probably not actually the best place to put this, but... Oh boy, how I miss the water beaver warehouses that were like too deep. Alright, that's gonna fix this. Very easily there. Get that popped in. Which of course is going to require that we put in a decontamination pod there, which does cost science points. But remember, we're making it now, so that's totally fine. And then on this square, we'll go ahead and put in a centrifuge. And then just going into the back of this, since we have access to this now, I'll go ahead and do one of these numbers. And then eventually, you know, they'll take care of everything else. Not going to be a problem. That is set to extract. There we go. Cool. That's going to work nicely, folks. And it doesn't look too terribly bad. Before we build the other one here, I do want to put in something else here that'll give us a nice benefit. I could do our little roofing piece if we felt so inclined. I don't know what you would... You know, actually, that kind of looks nice. Kind of blends into the building there. Not such a bad deal. You know, obviously in real life you wouldn't build a fire pit under an overhang like this, because that's just an instant recipe for complete disaster. But beaver physics don't work the same way, thankfully. It's a whole lot better that way. Okay. In the event I need to have this go somewhere else, actually no, these buildings communicate power just fine. So we'll leave that alone like that, and then this should get everything reconnected, distribute power a little bit better. And we're starting to make extract, which is useful for all sorts of fun stuff. Well, unless it's modified and I actually don't remember. Okay, no, that's for the grease, the lubricant. Yeah. Alright, folks, we got 9 days left. And I did say before the end of this episode I would like to start the process of diversion. So why don't we go ahead and, you know, do a little bit toward that goal. But you know what? That's going to cut a significant amount of time off walking-wise. So I guess I can go ahead and just mark these trees for cutting. Might as well get them anyhow. These are all done, right? Good. Yeah, those aren't going to grow back anytime, ever. Neither are those. Neither are those. Come on, lag. Right. Oh, and some of these trees aren't marked for... Wait, these shouldn't be marked for cutting at all. No, 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 no. No, no, no. These are maples. We're growing them for sap. This also should not be marked for cutting. Alright, so yeah, progress. Progress is going. Nice to see that. Well-being of 19 as well. And I think that's as much as I can really do there. Oh, there's some of these that aren't reachable from the gatherer flag. Oops. Well, not the end of the world. We'll be alright. Try to get the rest. Wow, they got that going fast. Alright, so it's really not that far. It's not particularly close either, but it's not a tremendously huge distance. So I think what's going to end up having to happen here is that we build this up as a levee. Probably not a super expensive thing just like that. But we're also going to have a trench blasted here that can accommodate all of our nasty coming out. So if that's going to go... I guess this is technically the same distance here. So I'll just do one of those. Except, you know what? No, we're not cavemen. We have technology. Let's, I guess cavemen probably also have their own type of technology. It just wouldn't be anything we'd be impressed by. Triple dynamite. I got the science. I'm going to use the science. And take this mess all the way out of here. Get that done. That's a 2, and then that's just going to be a single. Nope, just a single. And that is, as of this moment, fully connected. Is it close? Oh, got turned around. Is it close? No. But it is ready to go, and at some point they should be able to do it because we have dynamite and we have extract, but I still don't have dynamite storage because I neglected to make that a priority thing. So in the interest of actually accomplishing something, I am going to build a medium warehouse for dynamite. I guess right here probably makes sense-ish. So it's still kind of close to some of this other stuff. We'll let them get to work on that mess. We are going to have to go across this gap because, wait a second. I mean, they can go across this, but they can't reach this because it's too far away and you can't put a thing there. So this is going to be an interesting, an interesting conundrum for us. I guess this is actually going to get blasted up before they even build any of this, which, you know, it's fine. Nothing bad's going to happen by having the badwater drain into this nastiness right here. Which is, of course, where all of that's just immediately going to go. At some point, we might have to reroute it later, but I'm just going to choose not to worry about it. I think it's totally fine. This is the shortest route to get it out of here. And we can be okay with that. So I just have this here and this here ready to go. I really did not expect them to be able to do that quickly. Good job, beavers. Even though it's incredibly far away. 163 tiles from the district center. And they did all that without the warehouse for explosives even being built at all. Wowee. Let's go ahead and prioritize that so that can get filled. I don't think we're going to need it, but, you know, you never know. That's not how that works. Dynamite there. Dynamite there, and dynamite here. Now, is that going to be enough to... oh, yes, that is delightfully nasty. Is that going to be enough to get all of this completely drained out for a 3 strength? I think it should be. We do have... Yeah, we've got our 2 edges. Technically more than that. Okay, so... that means it's going to be time to, I guess, start unlocking other fun stuff like the 1x1 suspension bridges. And get that across here. Then they can just build this. That's what's going to take a longer amount of time. So if I put in a log pile over here, set to obtain at maximum here, then, oh, of course I have to have this done. But that's going to be the thing that I'm going to be very interested to see if they can finish before the end of the bad tide. It is 5 days, and this is pretty far. But if we manage to seal this off, that's going to make a huge, huge difference in what we've got going on here. I always think it's overflowing because of the coloration of these things here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get these guys out of here because we need to go ahead and get this situated correctly here. I know this is kind of in the middle of what else we were doing, but we do need to have access to get across here and also have this contamination barrier put in place. I'm still hoping that they get this other thing done first, though. All right. We got the industrial pile right there. It is now a priority thing, and they should be able to, hopefully, get this done in the next 4.2 days. I believe in the beavers and their ability to get it done. Look at that. We got 8,000 food, and some of it's even the stuff that we're trying to make. How nice. How nice is that? Now, we are about halfway through having these trees make maples. I don't think I'm going to need to have foresters past a certain point. But I will go ahead and put in some more maple trees here just because I know that space needs it. And I forgot, we've got dynamite now. We can blast this down. So that's looking good. Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, they should be able to take care of that, no problem. Now look at this lovely, lovely red nasty we got over here. Of course, it doesn't affect anything up top here because the water can't go up that far. And this also is its own grossness just by itself. Injured beavers. Yeah, we are going to have to put in additional beds here. I'm just putting these here because it's a place where they could actually go. 3 more additional. Just to take advantage of that. Now, our power supply is still lower than demand. So, I kind of wanted to leave this available to put other, infrastructure stuff in place. But we might have to put in another engine somewhere up here. Somewhere up here. I don't want to have engines be too far away from a place where they could actually be useful. So, liquid fuel engines are going to be great when we get those. But for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and say this has to go here. We've got a ladder there, so I know that's already ready to go. Get that going. Should help us out substantially. These are marked for priority. Okay, I've got 2.8 days. Hopefully this is something that is a little bit more possible for them to do before this is over. And hey, all the metal's gone, so that means bye-bye. And then this, I guess, could just be emptied. We actually, I don't think, have enough extra space to store that, so now that we've harvested all this scrap metal, it is probably about time to start working on this. But don't forget, we've got this over here too. All that being said, I do think it's probably necessary for us to get into this sooner rather than later, but it's 2,000, wow. That is a 4,000 science. We can't unlock it quite yet, but that should be the next thing. Remind me, next episode, we do need to focus on getting this mine up and running. I've got smelters. I don't think I need to save scrap metal for anything else, but it's going to become probably sooner rather than later necessary for us to do that. I'm so excited about the idea of having this ready to go. It's very possible that this is going to be a viable thing for us to do. Isn't that exciting? Oh, how did I end up with so many extra beavers? Well, I know how I ended up with so many extra beavers. I didn't make any more builder sets. I just have this one. Okay, well. Yeah, alright. Alright. Oh no, I have 2. Sometimes I can remember how to do math. That's going to go there so we can still get past. I know that I'm making some sort of spaghetti here, but that's the way it goes. At this point, 1.4 days left. I don't need to prioritize this, but they're going to take care of this by themselves anyway. Alright. Come on now. We're getting pretty close. We have all the materials here. I just have to get the builders up here. So if this is actually ready, which it will be very soon, then I'll have some extra beavers for the last day. Maybe we can get it done. Okay, well, we just barely missed it. Just barely. But it's dawn of the final day. You know what that means. All right. 4 of you, get to work. Let's go. We got a little bit of a dam to build here. So 36 logs. They've got the wood right here, but after they finish, they have to go do something else because they're little baby boys. Can't handle more than a couple minutes on the job because they had to travel incredibly far distances. 255 tiles. 255 tiles. All right, that's done. So now, yeah, there we go. There we go. Just got to block it off enough. Just enough. All right, I see you. I see you, heroes of the beavers. Come forth. Get that thing finished. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. 2, 4. Come on. Come on. Don't make me do 24-hour work hours for this. We're going to have to do it. We're going to have to do it. We're working around the clock. You are essential. Get in here. All right, come on. Come on. Come on. Who's going to finish it? Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. All right, now you can go back. Go back to what you're doing. All right, 18-hour workdays can be restored, and this no longer has to be a receive only. This can just be a storage, which honestly should probably be, that's explosives. Should probably be emptied, but yeah, I'm not trying to build with this anymore. So cycle 17 begins. I'm going to go ahead and just unhook that so nobody has to mess with that anymore. But now this is ready to go. It doesn't have to contaminate all of our clean, lovely water anymore, which means all of this goodness here will slowly filter through. No more nasty. The only thing coming through here will be completely clean water. And friends, that is a fantastic, fantastic thing for us to accomplish. So, we're going to get these last couple of maple trees planted. And then, because these are so close to having actual syrup come out, then I can replace this forester with the tapper shack. Go ahead and unlock that. It's going to give them all sorts of fun stuff. And look at that, that's all ready to go. We're looking good. We're looking good. They might be a little hungry, might be a little thirsty because I made them work 24 hours straight. But, you know, that's sometimes the price you got to pay for greatness. And now this is ready to go. Look at that. Look at that. We got something accomplished today. We absolutely did. We've got all of our corn stuff improved just a little bit. But I can hear you now. You didn't replace your automated water pumps. Oh, I know. I know. And that's the last thing we'll do, is we'll put those back. We have a very beautiful 700 HP, which will give us enough juice to do, I think, 8 of them. So, this is going to become a thing where we have to decide exactly how we want this to be laid out. It doesn't have to be in the original spot either. Like, we could put them here. We can put them here up on top of some of these platforms. Would be a very, very easy thing to do. All in a straight line and not taking up any farming space. So if I did that, I could even do... I could do one here, I could do one here, one here, one here, one here. And one... well, that's already 5. That's probably way more than we need. But if I go ahead and do that... It's not connected to the power. It's not connected to the power. Don't worry. Don't worry. We have technology. It's fine. No need to worry about it at all. Because we can use wonderful things like science, including but not limited to doing the same thing I said we were going to do, and then I didn't do it. Just do one of these numbers here. Get that all situated. Get this situated, and all of a sudden, now they can go that way. And then to get around the backside here with power, all we have to do is, oh, first of all, hope this doesn't completely flood every time. But we just have to have a little bit of a doohickey here. Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to admit, this wasn't exactly what I was trying to do. It wasn't exactly what I was trying to do here. But, you know, sometimes stuff just happens the way it happens. And that's the truth. That's the way it works. So, not to worry. We're not in a dire situation with the water yet, but oh, this will be a problem in a decent bit of time. I need to build this one first. Then I need to come over here with the wheels. And then I need to come over here with this mess here. And just go right the way across. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. I think I should be able to handle this much at the very least. So that'll go there. That'll go there. And then this will go without something better to do just right there. Totally fine. Totally fine. So, let's take a look at the spoils of our success here. Oh yes, look at this. Look how beautiful this is. I know there's still some of the nasty here that has to get pushed out, and it will be filtering in until that's all gone. But this is so clean. It's only down to 5%. 5% contamination. Which, of course, still looks like a whole lot of contamination, but what are you going to do? So that's gone. Now I can put in, finally, the tapper shack. This is going to be lost in the corner here. But yeah, they're going to tap that, and it's going to be good to go. And we'll have some very nice maple syrup for too long. And not to worry, we still have plenty of water. It's going to be totally fine. And guess what else we've got space for over here? That's right. That's right. It's another underground tank that'll store 2,400 additional water right here. And that's exciting news. Because that means we could probably move this guy. And I could even put another one of these right here. That's good stuff. But before we get you out of here, of course, probably should do this bit first. And then, of course, they'll build all of this as one does. Just get that taken care of. Let's put this thing in triple speed and do our end of episode spiel. You already know. You already know. But I say it every time anyway because it bears repeating. Can't do it without you guys. I really appreciate the support. All the feedback, all the comments, all the suggestions and everything. So, Beard Boosters, powering all of this nonsense. You already know. You already know. But we're having such a good time with all this. I really love this playthrough. This has been tremendously fun. Probably my favorite thing we got going on right now. So look forward to see more of this as we have the ability to get that done. And then hopefully sometime soon I can get the replacement computer up and running. Also thanks to the generosity and the support of the Beard Boosters. So probably not going to have daily videos for at least the next week or so. But I'll do my best to do, at the very least, this series, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, as I can. And then once everything is back to normal a little bit, and other stuff I got to take care of calms down a little bit, then maybe we can try to get back to that. But I really appreciate the support to this point, and I hope we can have a whole lot more fun with these beavers in the future. We got Update 7 coming at some point. Don't know when. Have absolutely no clue, but rest assured when that comes out, we will be immediately diving in. So, they're almost getting to the point where this is going to be a viable thing to pump more water. And that's what they're going to be doing when we check in with the beavers in the Emberpelts next time. So, whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video, whenever that might be. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.